actually what happens in this text. And if Jesus was to come to some of our churches, he would kick some stuff over. Some of this man-made tradition that has no biblical premise or foundation to it, he would kick it over. And you know what I've discovered about church Negroes? Can I just preach in here? Is that it is much easier to break a 10 commandment than it is to break a church tradition. You'll catch it later on. You got some folks that doesn't have a problem breaking the 10 commandments, but you trying to touch their traditions. If he was to come to our church, I guess I'll preach in here, he'll overthrow some stuff. And he can care less about how long you've been at the church. Not only, check this out. Can I just walk through the text? When he goes to church, the first thing he does is revamp the temple of his pollution. And every church prayer ought to be, Lord, just cleanse us, just wash us, just work on us. Have you thought about this here? Some choirs will sing better if some folks get out. Have you discovered that when certain folks don't come to rehearsal, you can start on time and end on time and have a good time while you're rehearsing, and as soon as they show up, let me preach on, let me go. When he goes to church, he revamps the temple of his pollution. But notice verse number 13. Can I preach in here? In verse number 13 it says, and he said unto them, it is written. Notice this here. My house, my first person singular pronoun that indicates ownership or possession. My, not yours, not ours, my, not us, my. He says, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but you've given the church a bad name. And have you discovered that the church today has a bad name? You have some drug addicts and drunks that won't even think about going to church because the church got a bad name. Listen, the church is the only place that kills its wounded. I'm in the zone. I'm in it. The church is the only place that will kill its wounded. We've given the church a bad name. Can you just think of some of the names we've given the church? Church has become a dating club. We've given the church a bad name. He said, listen. The first thing that we got to get together and right is that it belongs to me. It belongs to me. Because what we see in verse number 12 is that he revamps the temple of his pollution. In verse number 13, he refocused the temple back to his purpose. He said, you've missed the purpose. The purpose is prayer. But before we can deal with that, you got to give me back my house. And can I parenthetically pause and park at this point and share with you that, baby, I can care less how long you've been here at the church. You can be one of the chartered members. I'm going to say it anyhow because I'm going back to Atlanta. You can be a chartered member. Could have started it with Dr. Evans. I did say it. But guess what? It don't belong to you. Oh, no. I can care less. You could have been the highest tither last year. This church does not belong to you. I can care less about how influential your last name is. It does not belong to you. I can care less about how large your family is. It does not belong to you. If it belongs to you, show me the nail prints in your hand. If it belongs to you, show me the nail prints in your feet. If it belongs to you, show me the piercing in your side. Jesus said, upon this rock, I'll build my church, and the gates of hell. It doesn't belong to you. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, it doesn't belong to you. Come on, turn to somebody else and say, neighbor, it doesn't belong to you, but it belongs to God. And one of these old days, he's coming back for his church without spot or wrinkle. Say yeah. It belongs to God. I'm so tired of Negroes acting like the church belongs to them. You got your own pew, got your own parking spot. It doesn't belong to you. If it belongs to you, I dare you to die. And I promise you, his church will live on. He says, it is written. He said, it's written that my house. You know, a whole lot of church fights and feuds would be eliminated if we just understood those two words, my house. See, that deals with the issue of ownership and stewardship. See, we're not owners, we're nothing more than stewards. And a steward is a manager that takes care of the affairs of the owner until the owner returns. And see, you got to understand that all you are really is a manager. Don't walk around here acting like it belongs to you because you got all the church keys on your hip. Baby, it doesn't belong to you. Matter of fact, he has all the keys. Because the last I heard when he died, he said, all power is given unto me in both heaven and in earth. Is there anybody in here that can testify that he has a key in his hand? Say yeah. When Jesus goes, when he goes